Okay. Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading. It's creeping up on the end of the year here of 2022. We're late December. And in reflecting over the past year and my communication with you guys through emails, those of you who take the time to email me, I can't really help anybody in a comment. I really appreciate you guys leaving comments and that sort of stuff. And I try to give you a little bit of advice, but if you're really serious in talking with me, then I think the best way to do that is through email. So I appreciate all you guys that have emailed me, and I'd say probably 90% of you that have emailed me either have very little experience in trading the currency market, or the experience that you have is done with a very small account. A mini account, you might have a couple of $1,000, you might have $10,000, you might be trading a full lot, something like that. Which is wonderful for me because I think I have a lot of insight into what you're going through in trying to get things together in that beginning stages of your trading career, if you're going to look at it as a career. Now, some of you email me and you think I should be driving around in a Lambo and going to help you the same way all these other jackasses claim that they're going to help you with. And I just tell you the straight truth. And I have pissed a lot of people off, and I've lost some subscribers with that. Because look, if you come up with me and ask a question and I answer it the way that it should be answered, and then you're going to argue with me, I'm going to shut you down. I don't need that kind of aggravation. I've come through the stages that you're in, and I can help you get through it rationally and reasonably, and it's going to take a little bit of time. And you're going to have to do a lot more foundation building work than all the rest of these guys are saying that you need to do. Now, it doesn't mean that it's complicated or hard or even really time consuming. If you're a good reader and can process stuff, or when you listen to things that I'm saying and you can ask the right questions and that sort of thing, man, you'll be able to put this stuff together really quickly. And the reason is it's how the material is presented. So the thrust of the video is trading that small account. How do you, what are you supposed to get out of trading that small account? Well, I'll tell you one thing you're not supposed to get out of it, and that's rich, or replacing your job income. As soon as you try to make money in a small account, you're going to build some bad habits. Because what you're going to be trying to do is take a $10,000 account or 5 minis or something like that, and you're going to be trying to make $300 a day. And that's not really feasible, particularly if you don't know what you're doing. I mean, you say, well, $100 a day on a full lot is $10 a pip. That's 10. That's 10 pips. I make $100. How tough is it to make 10 pips? Well, I don't know. You tell me. 90% of the traders lose 90% of their money in 90 days. So maybe you get lucky for the first 3 or 4 weeks of your trading, or 3 or 4 or 5 months. And then you run into circumstances that you haven't seen before. And because you don't really know how to trade, now the $3,000 is something that you've made from your trading, that goes, and another $4,000 out of the $10,000 that you've got, that goes. So why did that happen? Why does that happen? And why so many of you get either discouraged in your trading and eventually give up, or those of you that are struggling to find a way to make money and get depressed because you see these guys driving around in their fancy cars and taking their vacations and living in the big fancy houses. They're just right in your face with all the money you can make. And that's not the money you're going to make. It's just not. It took them years and years, if they did it right way and they know how to keep it. It took them years to do that. Now, I'm coming at this a little bit differently. I had a 40-year career in real estate. 33 years in software engineering as an employee. I've been in martial arts for over 50 years. And I've been looking at the currency markets since 2007. But I came to the currency markets in my 60s with a broad-based experience in money. I've been dealing with money in finance and commerce and all that sort of stuff since the late 1970s. So I've seen all the crap that's out there. And when I got into the currency market, I thought I could learn it the same way I learned real estate. You ask people and you watch the videos. We didn't have any videos then, but we had DVDs with courses and stuff on them, and you could watch presentations that were done in either seminar type environments or whatever, and all that information was valid. I mean, all that stuff worked. And you get into the currency market, and you listen to all these guys, and this guy says, oh, you do a engulfing candle pattern, and this guy says you use a Fibonacci, and this guy over here is saying all you got to do is make 2% compounded a day, and in 14 months you'll be a millionaire. I mean, it's just crazy what's going on out there. It's bizarre. And I didn't know that when I first got into the market. All this information and all this stuff was confusing because I had never seen such a shitstorm before. But I thought, well, maybe this is just the way that this particular market is wired up. I mean, I've done stocks before. I've written computer simulations against stocks. I did options for 4 years. I've looked into commodities. You know, I mean, I've seen all this stuff and how all these markets go together. And I thought, well, maybe this is different. Maybe the currencies are different because all these guys are saying all this different stuff and present. So I got serious and I tried to follow all that information. And I traded in this demo account for years. I was making 15% a month for 9 months at a time on my risk. I thought I had this pretty well squared away. I got into the real market with a couple of mini accounts, $2,000 a mini account, and I lost that. So let's try that again. Must have done something stupid. Let's get in, did the same thing, trying to follow all these rules. Lost that. Well, that's really strange. Maybe I need more study. So I spent the next 4 years trading in demo accounts and writing computer simulations and watching all these videos and doing all this stuff. Well, I got it now. So I funded my account because in all my demo account trading, I had been trading a $40,000 account, $50,000 account, excuse me, $50,000 account. And so when I opened my live trading account, I opened it with $50,000 and just did all the same stuff that I had been doing in the demo account, and it wasn't long before I'd lost $40,000 of that. $40,000. So those of you that are starting out, you hear stories like that, or you see all these people, 90% of the people losing 90% of their money very quickly, and you go, oh, I'm afraid I don't want to do this. I can't take the risk. Well, after losing all that money, I stepped back from it, and I said, what's going on here? I'm a pretty smart guy. I got a bachelor's degree in physics. I got all this information. What happened here? And the only thing I could think was that the education was bad. Had to be the education. So I threw it all out, and I analyzed it as I would solving a computer application problem. Now, here's a problem domain. This is the issue that I want to solve within that problem domain. How do you go about solving it? So there's certain steps. It's called the software development methodology that you go through. Certain steps that you do, your analysis, your design, your all that kind of crap. But you look at the problem. You say, what kind of rules am I going to have to follow? How do I break this thing up into pieces? Figure out what the issue is in each piece. Develop a set of rules for that. Put put that thing together, then go on to the next piece, and then hook those two pieces together, go on to the next piece, and hook those three pieces together. That's how I went back and I looked at the currency market. It was stupid simple. I figured out how to do it in 15 minutes because I'd already been doing that stuff for 30 years. So I knew how to solve a problem. I just didn't believe that the education I was getting was wrong, and so I followed it. But the education was wrong because after I set out my framework, what I'm calling a framework for my trading, I had $5,000 left in my account, and I doubled that in about 4.5 months. I was $200 short of doubling that account in 4.5 months. I put another $10,000 in, started trading again, put another $10,000 in, was trading that, had a massive blowout, lost 10 grand, struggled to come back from that. So at the end of the year, I was down, I think I was down $5,000. So now we're into 2021, and I ran that account up really good. I was 60% up on my risk, and then I ran into a couple of situations that I hadn't really figured on because I really didn't know that much about the currency market itself, the depth of the market as a trader, the same way that I would understand real estate. I mean, I could project, I could buy a house and say, 4 years from now, this is going to be an issue, so I'm going to solve the issue now. And I didn't have that background, and so when I'd run into these things, I'd lose money. I lost a lot of money. But I still made 31%. In 2001, I made 31% on my risk. Now, where do you get 31% on your risk in anything, even in flying times? You might get that if you're really skilled in real estate, but a 30% yearly return is really good. And in 2022, as I've said in the last few videos, I'm up well over $100,000 in profits, and it's going really well for me. I'm in a jam right now, as I said in my last video, but I could still end up with a 30 or 40% return if I had this huge loss on my risk. But I'm trading differently now because the other stuff is so simple. And so when I talk with somebody actually takes the time to communicate with me a little bit through email, and then they say, well, I'm really interested in having you work with me. I send a questionnaire out to see whether you're really suitable for the type of training that I offer. I'm not going to, my prices are high. I'm not going to charge somebody that kind of money if I don't think they're going to be successful with it. I want them to be successful. And if I don't think they're going to be successful, I jump in there and I say, I just don't think this is going to work. Or I ask them some questions to make them aware of where their real weaknesses are. And if they can't satisfy my concerns that they're not going to do crazy shit, I just don't want to work with them. I'm not in the training business. I'm not selling courses and consulting and stuff. If somebody wants my help and they want to go in that direction, we work together, figure out the best path for that, and then we're going to go ahead and do something. But I'm not trying to have 1,000 people taking my courses. I mean, I'm retired. I don't have time to work with 100 people a year because I got wine to drink and fun to have, right? So I try to help people as much as I can through the email communications that we have. If it gets a little more serious, I send a questionnaire out that there was about 20 questions or something. Have you traded before? What size bank have you used? What's your basic trading philosophy? Stuff like that. Who are you? What country do you live in? How old are you? To get to know you, you get to know what you're doing and why you're trading and that sort of stuff. And so the idea behind progressing beyond that is to make sure that you understand this isn't a complicated process. It's simple. If you watch all my videos, each one is presenting something that's really relatively simple. the problem with trying to learn from video education is that you have to take all those videos and put them in the right sequential order in order to follow what's going on. The example I always give is like walking through the woods. You could have a path going out this way one time, and then you could have a path going out this way, and then that's going to go back here, and then this one is going to go here, and this one, and finally it all ties together and it gets you to where you want to go. But it's like a maze. You get lost and you end up wrapping around on yourself. So if you don't, it's not sufficient that you have information. That's the problem, I think, with a lot of you that don't have any experience in trading or minimal experience in trading, and that's what freaks you out so much, is you look at all this information and you go, I can't learn all that. Maybe you're 50 years, 60 years old. I can't learn all that. Well, you don't have to. You know, I've broken the whole problem of currency trading down into 3 major phases. You have your entry analysis, your position management, and exit methodology. Those are the 3 sections of position that you have. And so, what are the issues that are involved in entry analysis? What do you need to worry about? And how do you apply risk analysis, risk management to that thing? Then you go to position management. What is that? What are the problems? What are the issues you're going to run into? Well, here's 3 or 4 rules to deal with each one of the type of the problems that could come up. And what's your risk management for that? You notice each one has a bunch of rules as to how to do what you're doing, but the risk management takes the when component. It's easy to learn what to do, and it's easy to learn how to do it. That's what everybody teaches. But they don't seem to understand how to integrate the third part, which is the when part. What do you know how to, what do you need to know? How do you apply what you know? And when do you do that? I've got a shovel and I got a garden. That's the what. How? I have the shovel and I use the shovel to dig the garden. That's the how. But if I try to do that in the winter, I'm not going to be very successful. So when do I use the shovel to dig the garden? In the spring. So if you don't have that when component, that's what's throwing, I think, a lot of folks off. And quite frankly, I don't think there are very many of the educators out there that understand that. I have a degree in physics. I've been a software engineer for 33 years. I know, I've been around the block. I understand this stuff. And most folks just trade and they stumble into it and they make enough money to buy a Lamborghini and then they're going to show you how to do it. But if they don't have those 3 components, and some fool listening to my video is going to say, oh, you know, I know how to do the when too. No, you don't. Because if you did, things would be different, the way that you present to folks to try to take advantage of them. Be very leery of what these people are doing, trying to get you to enroll in their programs, trying to get you to train. I don't need you in my program. I don't need you to enroll in any consulting work that I do. I've got my money. I made $1 million in my real estate career. I'm retired. I don't need your money. I'm doing fine. I don't need the money from trading. I'm doing it because I enjoy trading, and I'm taking it slowly because I've gone from this year, 2022, from trading 3 lots, then I jumped 3 to 6 lots, 6 to 8 lots, and now I'm trading positions that are 15 to 25 lots. And I will go on and continue to increase that as I move into 2023. So the progression that I've gone through in a year in making those jumps, I know how to teach somebody how to do that. I don't know whether everybody else has that or not. They're going to teach you what a Fibonacci is and a trend line and a golfing candle pattern, and when this happens and that happens and this happens, then that's when you enter the trade. And as far as I'm concerned, that's horseshit. You don't know what you're doing. You may be able to trade, but you can't teach it. So if you can't teach it, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't teach it to somebody, you're no use to them. So if you're in that early stage of trading or looking about getting into currency trading, don't be fearful about the currency market. Go to my website, longwoodcurrencytrading.com, and on the currency trading page, there's 7 reasons there why I feel the currency markets are the best market to trade, the safest market to trade, And if you have any doubts about that, send me an email. I'd be happy to talk with you about that, because it's not that big a deal. Are you going to lose money? Of course you're going to lose money. If you buy a car, you lose 30% of the money as soon as you drive it off the lot. What are you afraid about losing money? Nobody should be saying, well, put $50,000 in like I did, and you're going to lose $40,000 of it. Of course you're going to lose $40,000 of it. You don't know what you're doing. So you start with $1,000. I've had people call me on the phone. They make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year through their trading, and they've got the money to fund the account in order to do stuff. And I say, that's great, Bob, but here's something. If you're going to learn from me, you're going to learn on $1,000 bank, $1,000 account, trading mini lots, until you hit certain metrics where I can tell you that I think it's safe for you to trade a $10,000 account. And then I got to work with you through that, because when you go from you can't go from trading a $10,000 account to trading a $100,000 account. You can't do that. There's steps that you have to go through, because the process of trading changes when you go from trading mini accounts up through about 2 full lots, 3 full lots, something like that. There's a shift between the mini lots and the $10,000 account and getting to a 3 full lot position. You've got to change the way that you think, and then from that trading that position, and then moving into the point where you're trading 5 full lots to maybe 10 or 12, you got to go through another transition. And then at the 12 lot, you got to go through another transition, because you have issues of staging and intermittent compounding and all these other kinds of sophisticated things that we can use, reverse staging, that you should be doing down in the early stages of your trading. These educators out there are trying to take you from trading your 3 mini lots and trying to tell you how to compound it and how to stage in and stage out. Those are sophisticated tools for somebody who knows what they're doing, not for somebody who's trading 3 fucking mini lots. I'm sorry, but if the person is telling you, trading a small account, that you should be compounding that, really what they're doing is they're trying to teach you how to make money from a small account. And that's not the purpose of a small account. The purpose of a small account is to teach you how to trade, so that when you have a large account, you know how to trade and you can make a lot of money. But if you're learning how to make money with that small account, I'm here to tell you, look, I'm telling you right now, when I lost that $40,000 and figured out what I should have done, I took the $5,000 account and I doubled that in 4.5 months. Could I take a $10,000 account and double that in 4 or 5 months? Yeah, I think I probably could, but nothing beyond that. I don't think you could take a $20,000 or $30,000 account and double that in 4 months, because the mechanics are different, and you have so many other options available to you to trade. The key factor that you don't want to get into trading is you're afraid of losing money, and so the whole purpose of trading a small account is to learn risk management, so that you lose a little bit of money in the beginning. Are you afraid of, if you're getting into currencies and you're afraid of losing a couple of $1,000s as a learning process plus the cost of your education, you should go play tennis and forget it, because you'll probably lose $1,000 learning how to trade. But once you learn how to trade, you can then take the $1,000 and move up to $10,000. How much are you going to lose when you trade a $10,000 account? It's not 10 times the amount of the mini account learning. You're not going to lose $10,000 or $8,000. It's risk management. Once you learn the risk management at the smaller dollar values, and you learn how to move your account forward from trading small bank sizes to large bank sizes, or regardless of the bank size, the number of full lots that you can trade, you get up to the point where you're trading 20 full lots. In my case, that would be $200,000 bank. You can trade 20 full lots for probably $100,000. It's just what your leverage is and what your appetite for risk is. I'm fully about risk management. I don't want to lose any money, or I don't want to lose more money than I've made, because I can always make the money back. It's if I lose more money than I have, that becomes the problem. For example, if I have $10,000 account and I lose $5,000 of that, it's going to take me 100% return on the remaining $5,000 in order just to get back to even. However, if I started with a $10,000 account and I make $10,000 and then I lose $10,000, I still have the amount of money that I started with. I'm playing with a house money. And so I can just take that $10,000, I can make the $10,000 back again. Well, you can't do that if all you have is $10,000. Because everything you lose from that, it's a percentage greater than that to make it back. That's where the fear comes in. So I eliminate that fear with folks that work with me. Take $1,000. If you can't afford to lose $1,000 to learn a skill that could pay you job replacement income on a yearly basis, you're not suited for currency trading. So don't waste your time. You're certainly not going to waste my time, because after talking with you, I'm going to see that you're fearful, and I'm not going to encourage you to trade. I've got people that are talking with me now. They really want to trade currencies, but they're trading stocks, or they're doing this, or they're doing that, and they're going to read more books, and they're going to do this, and they're going to do that. I'm not going to be able to ever help them, because they can't make up their mind what they want to do, because they have so much information, they don't know how to pay attention to me as to how to clear out that information. And so when you're trading a small account, a small FOREX currency account, don't try to make money. Learn how to trade. And as you learn how to trade, you'll make money. Now, you won't make as much money as you want to. You're not going to replace your job income on a $10,000 account. You're just not. Well, sell your truck or something and put another $5,000 into that $10,000 account. And maybe you sell your house and you're going to buy a new one, and you got $10,000 or $20,000 left over from the sale. Put that into your trading account and build up that way. You're not going to take your $5,000 and buy a $400,000 house. You have to take steps to build up that amount of money that you have for your down payment so that you can step up. And it's the same thing in currency trading. Jesus, I can't believe these guys that are trying to convince people that they can teach them how to take a small account and make a big account. They can't. They can teach you how to take a small account and make money so that you can take a $600 account and double that, or take a $500 account and triple that in a year. But the process of doing that, first of all, is sophisticated. You're not going to be able to do that as a beginner. And second of all, even though I took that $5,000 and doubled that in 4.5 months, I would never, ever, ever use those techniques with $100,000 at risk to try to double that in 4 months. I wouldn't even try to do that in a year. I've been very fortunate, and have been close to doubling my risk. But there have been some enormous gains that I've made on a couple of trades, and now I'm in a situation where I could lose that all. So, when you really push the envelope, you can take a really serious hit. But if you don't push the envelope and you're consistent, you could make a lot of money. If you could make 3 pips a day, you could make a lot of money on any bank size that you're trading. You make it you have a $10,000 account, you make 3 pips a day. That's $30. Yep. You make $30 5 times a week. Make $150 a week. Multiply that out. It's a lot of money. So it's not as complicated as you think. It's simple. You just have to learn the right base information, throw out all the other stuff as background noise, and just take it a little bit step at a time. What we do is We work our way through until you get into a point where you go, wow, I just lost something. What happened? So, well, this is what happened. Oh, okay, I won't do that again. All right, great. Then you come along, and if you make that same mistake again, I'm going to say, are you unwilling to learn from your mistakes, in which case I don't want to work with you anymore, or did you not understand the severity of trying to skip that training? So it's one step at a time, and it becomes very simple. It's very time-consuming for you, and it's very time-consuming for me as well. That's why it costs a lot of money. But if you're willing to do that, then in 3 months or 8 months or however long it is that we work together, you've got a skill that will replace your job income. Now, whether you've got the bank account that will enable you to replace the job income, I don't know. I can teach you real estate, how to buy a mobile home. I can teach you that those skills are going to be transportable into buying you a $600,000 home, but if you don't have the down payment to buy the $600,000 home, there's nothing I can do to help you. You're going to have to, excuse me, flapping my arms around here because I get all wound up. Well, you're going to have to get the money together in order to make that just makes sense, right? You're not going to be a senior software engineer without being a beginning programmer. You're not going to jump those steps. You're not going to be a neurosurgeon because you read a book and went to a lecture. So how long do you think it's going to take you to replace your job income? You go to college for 4 years and you spend a couple of $100,000 on education so that you can make $50,000 a year to start. There's an unbalance there. You're spending a couple of $100,000 to make 50, but you're going to be able to make that 50 for the rest of your life. And that 50 in 3 years will become 70, and then it'll become 100, and pretty soon, after 3 or 4 years, you've paid for your education. What I hope to do, and the fees that I charge someone, is that within a year you should be able to make that money back and pay for itself. So the next year you're on your own. Where else are you going to start a business? You know, I was in karate for 55 years. If I went out to start a karate club right now, a commercial karate program club, it cost me $100,000. 2 months rent, security deposit, getting electric hooked up, painting, putting paneling up, mirrors, changing rooms, bathrooms that are handicap accessible. What do you think? I'm going to set up a karate program for $50 down at the local Y? I'm not going to make any money down at the local Y. I'm talking about replacing your job income. How bad do you want that? If you want it really bad, I'd love to work with you because that's what I want really bad. I want to make a lot of money. I made $1 million invested in real estate. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun trading, and my goal now is to make $1 million trading. I'm 73 years old. I better get on with it. How about you? You ready to get on with it? Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day and have a great trading day.